This is Roger with Wheel Kinetics in Tucson, Arizona. We're selling this truck as a 2004 Ford F250 crew cab, Lariat. It has a 6.0 turbo diesel, it's four-wheel drive. It also has the FX4 suspension package, which is Rancho suspension, added to it at the factory, at the Ford factory. Purchases as a theft recovery directly from an insurance company in Houston. When it came here, it had a bunch of stuff that was stolen off it mechanically, and a couple things that were broken. So basically I've got a list in my hand, my little hand claw right here. Fuel sending unit, oil pump, IPR, ICP, let's see, some other stuff that's not such a sway bar links, oil pressure sensor, 3 injectors, the FICM, which is very important, was replaced. Let's see, glow plug module, brackets, turbo tubes, valve cover, steering stabilizer, oil change. It got an oil change and a coolant flush. So the only thing we didn't do was the EGR. It runs really good now. A lot of very expensive parts went into this thing that were stolen. A couple of those things were broken. I think the stabilizer was broken, but most of the stuff was just missing when we got it. Someone started to part it out when they stole it. Didn't get very far, but got far enough to cost us a little bit of money. Anyway, there will be before and after pictures. Basically, it looks just like this in the before pictures, but we do provide those so you know what we saw when we bought it. It's got a nice, very expensive set of tires on it. It used to have suspension, Rancho suspension on it. Now it's got different suspension, different shocks on it. But the FX4 package is aftermarket shocks, and that's pretty much it. It's Rancho, but they've already gone through those and replaced them, so I don't really know if the FX4 has much to do with anything now. It does have a dent right here in the bumper. If you wanted to replace the front bumper, you can get them aftermarket for like $200. Got a little ding right here. I wouldn't fix that. I would put a bug screen on the front of it and call it a day. Cosmetically, it looks really good. It's a really good looking truck. These tires are super expensive and high tread. I'd say probably 80% tread. They're 35, 12 and a half, 18 LTs off-road. That's probably each tire's got to be 350, 300, somewhere in that area. I see that this has got a little bend in it, which is not too uncommon, not much. A couple little scrapes down here, not too bad. Couple little nicks up here. I mean, it's not a beauty by any stretch, but it's a pretty good looking truck. Has a spare, which we don't guarantee. That looks like a brand new spare also. Tailgate, typical Ford tailgate on a Super Duty. Got some dings and dents. That doesn't like this. The handle's not sitting real flush there. I'm not sure why. A bed liner. See if those parking sensors work. About half the time they don't, but we'll run through that when I drive it for you. I think I see a little bit of a ding right here, scrape there. Had my main mechanic here and reconditioning manager drive this thing for the last 3 or 4 nights. When we put that many parts on them, we like to make sure that they're running properly and scanning them every day and making sure there's no surprises. 165,594 miles. I'm going to open the hood and show you underneath the hood. Alright. We have a new battery on this side. There's your Ford stamp right there on the fender, so you know that's the original fender. There's the Ford stamp between my fingers on the passenger core support, so you know it hasn't been wrecked on that side. There's the Ford stamp on the driver core support. And there's the Ford stamp on the driver fender. So none of these front end parts have been replaced. So there's been no crash damage to the front end. All right. Let's go through this thing real quick. Oh. Child locks. There you go. There's your driver rear window. They stole the center console, which isn't too unusual. Carpet looks really good. Let's see if there's any surprises in there. No. Back seat looks great. The center consoles are about $150 to $200 on eBay if you want one. A lot of people don't want them so that people can walk through easier. Pets or whatever can get through. A little bit of a stain here. A little bit of discoloring right in the top of the seat, but not too bad. This looks like, usually there's a Lariat right here, so I guess we probably did some sort of seat replacement or something, I'm guessing here. Oh, I know, these seats are out of an 08. I can tell these are newer seats. So they must have stolen the seats from this, and we replaced them with 08 seats. These are all from an 08. Tint here is a little bit funky. I would take this tint off, but we'll leave it on and let you take it off. You can see there's little ripples in it. Looks like it's time just to peel that stuff off. Call it a day. You know what? Let me make sure we demonstrate the seat real quickly. Forward, up, down. There you go. Look at that. And see this weather right here? It's starting to get snow, and they're calling for snow about 3,500 feet, and I'm standing at about 3,000 feet right now. There's the windows. There you go. Alright, let's see. Door locks. There you go. Let's see. I missed the little knob on there, but there's out, in, up, down, other side, up, down, in, out. That works fine. Yeah, these are 08 seats. They're pretty, these are looking a little rough right here in the seat. They're a lot more comfortable than the 07s and older, but they're not as good looking. Anyway, there you go. That's what it looks like where the center console would be. And the air is ice cold. In fact, we need to turn that off. It's so chilly right now. Cup holder. Let's see if the sliding rear window, very slow, which is very, very common. So if I were you, I'd just keep it closed. Once those cables get too stretched out, they're very, 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 very hard to get back on. If you want to fix that, if it's the cable, it's 160 bucks. If it's the motor, it's about 300. But the hard part is the labor, so I would just keep it closed. And if you want us to fix it, we'll fix it. But it'll be the part plus about 3 hours labor. Let's see. Radio works. 6-disc player. AC worked. Let's see. There's your tow on and off. There's your cluster. You put it in neutral. Put it into 4 low. Right. There's 4 low. Put it into drive. Oh yeah, that's definitely 4 low. And put it in reverse. That's definitely 4 low. Alright, neutral. Let's go to 4 high. Now we're in 4 high. I'm going to back up and test the parking sensors. See if they work or not. Wow. Parking sensors work. Excellent. Alright, and we'll go into drive in 4 high. That works fine. Perfect. Alright, let me put it into 2-wheel drive and go for a ride. Alright, so we've got a slow rear sliding window that is probably the next usage away from not working at all, so I'd just keep it closed if I were you. Like I said, it's $300 or it's $165 in parts. It's about 3 hours labor. If you want us to do it, $500 if it's the total, if it's the motor. $300 if it's total, if it's just the whatchamacallit, I guess it's the regulator, whatever they want to call that. By the way, see our road? They just repaired our road, and it's like four-wheeling in Bolivia. I swear to God, Tucson is the worst town. If you're driving a sports car in Tucson, you're gonna hate this place. I mean, it is unbelievable. That's probably why everyone has 4x4s. Anyway, if you come to Tucson and drive this thing home, which you're more than welcome to do, you will be paying a few things. Number one, in order to get plates and insurance, you have to have what's called a restored salvage title. Right now, all you have is a salvage title. That requires us to take it to motor vehicles before you get here. We charge $200 to do that. We take it down there 8 in the morning, and we're required to stay with it all day. That could be 15 minutes or it could be 10 hours, depending on what kind of business the police have going that day. They do the inspections. What else? Blah, 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 blah. So that's $200, and that'll make it so we get a restored salvage title, which means you can get plates and insurance then. Then there's dock fee of $250, and then there is taxes. Taxes are 2% city sales tax here in Tucson, plus whatever your state tax rate is. The steering wheel's a little floaty, which happens with Super Duties. That's when we put that in all of our ads at the very bottom. If you read what we know about certain vehicles and what they do, that's one of the things that they do, especially Fords. This one probably is going to need a steering box in the next 10,000 miles. Not now. It's not dangerous, but it's a little floaty, which is exacerbated by the big tires. It actually runs great. Turbo's great. Runs great. It's got something rattling right over here, which is kind of annoying. Let's see if I can figure out what that is. Anyhow, blah, blah. So taxes. Taxes are 2% city sales tax here in Tucson, plus whatever your state tax rate is. If your state tax rate is, let's say, 3%, you add that to our city tax rate. So if you come here to drive it home, you're going to pay 5% tax, you're going to pay a $250 dock fee, you're going to pay $200 to restore the title. If you pay by wire and ship, all you pay is the agreed upon price, plus the $200 to restore the title if you want us to do that for you. If you don't want us to do that for you, that's fine. Just make sure that you can get it done yourself with the salvage title, the bill of sale, and the truck itself, because that's all you're going to get, okay? Lastly, but please get a deposit. Once we have a deposit, we have a deal. We'll put your name in a banner over the truck at wheelk.com, and you'll know it's yours. Until then, it's for sale. Lastly, this is not a new truck. We don't know what's going to happen to it 10 minutes after you get it. We have no idea. Ford ended their warranty at a certain year and a certain mileage because they don't know either. So we don't know more than Ford, so please don't expect us to know what's going to happen. We told you what we've done to the vehicle repair-wise, which we have done. We don't know anything about the future. They're famous for EGRs. We know that. Other than that, please make sure that you, if you want a new car, that you go to the auto mall. If you buy this one, assume that you're going to pay some of the money that you saved is going to go into the truck sooner or later. Okay? Thank you very much for your time, and have a great holiday season.